Yo, how's it going, guys? It's Richard Unicorn Caller here, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. No more football, but I did get to see Usher perform at the Super Bowl. It was pretty fun. Tons of memes on Twitter that actually made my day a little bit better. This had been probably a very exhausting weekend for Wizard101 because, of course, we have this standard mode issue going on with players, and also Storm Wizards crying about deck setups. Yeah, deck setups. Yeah, we'll get into all of that further along the news, but first, let's give you guys the news firsthand for Monday so you guys can keep up to date with everything. So, over here, we have a monthly calendar little update. This happened February 7th, but as just a little reminder, through the 12th, we have Beast Moon Hunt Avalon, so make sure to do that. Beast Moon Hunt is a really good way to get some spellments, might help you out in some of the advanced content. Would highly recommend doing that event. Then we also have the Ice Decathlon February 13th through the 19th, which I might slightly do because it does come with the Shatter Treasure Card recipe for 2 pips. So definitely might go check that out. But honestly, starting today, I'm kind of taking a big old detox from Wiz because Wiz is Wiz. It's always the stupid reasons that makes me like not want to play this game, right? And then February 20th through the 26th, we have Beastman Monster Mayhem through Celestia. And then through February 27th through the March, we have the Spiral Showcase. So future dates will be announced at the previous events rotate. So make sure to keep note of that on this page. Remember that the Rate My Stitch event is a myth themed and it is also available through the 12th. So make sure you take advantage of that. Over here, we got a new auspicious pet. This is the auspicious dragon pet, part of the Chinese New Year pet list that they have. They have a lot of auspicious pets. Now, if I remember correctly, all of the auspicious Chinese New Year pets, they are actually exclusive, meaning that you can't necessarily like hatch the body with other people. Talent wise, you can still, hatch for talents, but it is an exclusive pet from what I remember. Maybe it's not for this one, but pretty sure it should be or would be. But make sure to go check it out in the Crown Shop. It's adorable. Check it out. So over here, now we get on to the other news, which is talking about the last chance at the Accursed Play Gauntlet. It's going to expire on the 15th, so make sure to get it. It's a fun little bundle gauntlet, nice little dungeon area or whatever. You're not worrying about mazes or croc anks or anything like that, which segues us to the next topic, which is basically talking about this update, which initially I was having fun in challenge mode, but now I'm not having fun with it at all. And the Nightmare Dungeon has literally became a nightmare for me. No pun intended at all, and probably for a lot of other people. This comment says that the Nightmare Dungeon sucks. Keep raids as their own thing. Let casual players be casual players. The dungeon is so not worth it. I'm not doing a whole raid in order to progress into the next world. I've already ended my membership, unfortunately. I've been playing since 2009. The only comment I don't understand is about progressing into the next world. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this because I'm not a game developer for this game and I barely keep up with the info, but I'm pretty sure this is just like a side dungeon. I don't think that you actually have to like use it to progress through the story because I think the main storyline for Wallaroo is already complete, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think you have to do this dungeon. But other than that, though, yeah, the Nightmare Dungeon does kind of suck a little bit. Wait, well, this dungeon is needed to progress, blah, 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 blah. I completely relate. I've been playing since 2009, and I refuse to torture myself by defeating that dungeon 25 times. On my 4 other accounts, I'm quitting also, yeah. Yeah, the Nightmare Dungeon, it's just like, I don't know, it's just not the best, And you guys gotta remember, I know everybody's super passionate about this game, but you guys gotta remember that this entire update released with no test realm, with multiple bugs, and of course it released on challenge mode first, right? And we've already talked about the difference between challenge and standard, which there are videos about that talking about that, and it seems like challenge mode is actually a little bit easier, which is kind of surprising. You know, I said in the beginning how challenge mode is a tedious mode, which it still is a tedious mode, but now it looks like standard mode has become the more tedious mode, especially when you reach Pharaoh Ramacroc, which is one of the bosses on the right side. He basically has these types of croc ank functions, right? Which honestly really surprised me because I didn't think that they would even keep that in standard mode. Like, I knew standard mode was going to be a little rough, especially with the maze and stuff like that, but I honestly wasn't expecting them to keep most of those cheats in, if not even add more cheats. I honestly think that they should remove that function in the standard mode dungeon. Basically, if you don't know, the croc ank is on the playing field. If there are any croc anks on, like, the boss or you, basically he will stay immortal forever. It doesn't matter how much damage you do or, like, you know, if you kill him or not. You know, if there is a croc ank on the field, then unfortunately he will stay alive. It's a very intricate type of boss battle. You have to set up your deck and all that stuff. The one thing standard is good for is for, you know, teleporting back into the dungeon, getting some health. There's obviously no timer and stuff like that, but still though, I just wouldn't recommend it for casual players just because there's a lot of thought into it. And especially when you're in standard mode, you're not allowed to use any of the advanced content spells, which doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why for the longest time they just don't want people to use these spells. These are some pretty cool spells that you can use. Like, let me use Meltdown. Let me use Oni's Forge or whatever it's called. Like, let me use all of these gambits, right? And I'm talking about these that are PvP only, for advanced content only, for raids only, right? You cannot use these in a standard traditional sense, right? You can only use it while you're in challenge mode. They would definitely come in handy for PvE content and would hopefully help some of the casual players out. But for some reason, they've been so against it. I don't know why they even released it for PvP only, or just raids only. I feel like everybody should be allowed to use this no matter where they're at. It would really help people out a little bit, kind of strategize and set themselves up for like gambits and stuff. You know, I don't know. They just kind of copy and pasted the challenge to the standard, took the timer off, and then it's like, boom, there it is. You know, it's like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, because I usually do team up a lot. I do team up all the time, but it's gotten to the point where it's like, I really don't want to touch this dungeon anymore. The only time I will run this dungeon is if I'm with Autumn, Ryan, and Banana. I'm not training anybody anymore. I'm exhausted from that. I don't care about deck setups or storm wizards. I'm over that. And we're also done raiding too. I took a break from raiding because raiding is getting on my nerves right now, so I think everybody is well off for a due break. Still don't know when we're going to do the Azteca raid. That will probably just hang on my wall for the rest of the day. Don't know when that's going to happen. But I wanted to show you more comments kind of concerning this challenge mode fiasco. When is standard mode actually coming now? Blah, 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 blah. This dungeon still cannot be done with team up. Someone says that you're a full drone. Quit complaining. Not everything was made to be easy. Games are fun when they are a challenge, which is true. And I've seen this before with Elden Ring. It has this like very elitist attitude where, you know, if you suck at a video game, it's really a skill issue, and that's just your own fault, and that you're pretty much a failure, which isn't the case for Wizard101. I think Wizard101 should kind of lean off the advanced content side and just kind of make a decent dungeon. You know, I always go to Darkmoor. You all know this on the channel. I love Darkmoor. The reason I love Darkmoor so much is because I can join a team up. I can go in there and do whatever I want, right? I'm not really restricted on much. I'm not going through a maze, and I'm not up against a timer or anything like that. You know, I'm not worrying about croc anks or anything weird like that. I'm just going in the dungeon and just having fun with it, right? Darkmoor has came out like since 2014, right? So practically nearly almost 10 years, and that is one dungeon that I still always do. Then someone responds that says, "Well ago, not all the time. I've been here since it standard or started in '08, and this is BS. If you ask me, the entire run. I think simply saying mazes are not for everyone. They can be very difficult. Yeah, the mazes can be very difficult. You can have the best stats in the world, right? The best stats in the world, right? And you can still be bad at the maze. And there's nothing wrong with that. Even when you are looking at the map, it can be a little confusing at times, you know? The maze likes to change frequently, so you're not always going to get the same path and the same functions, alright? You're not going to get, like, the same pathways, right? Now, while you're doing this, you're also navigating through the broken dreams, which have a really big radius if you get a little bit too close to them, right? Again, it's just not for everybody. Not everybody is accustomed to that. And there's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, maybe they should remove the maze in standard mode and just put those bosses in, right? I'm honestly surprised they kept the maze in. I was like, I don't know about that one, but I don't know. I don't know. There's also more comments. Of course, this just keeps going down. So just to demonstrate how much this dungeon is crap, I put in 60,000 crowns over a few days to see how the gear drops were. I got only one piece of gear for my school, so do you kind of justify for me the 3 times price increase in the second chest with even worse drop rates? Take your time, I'll wait. Yeah, again, it's just, you know, again, and that's when gambling comes in. Kind of like almost what football. I just saw tweets of people losing a lot of money for the 49ers versus the Chiefs game. And that's when the gambling part comes in. Because, of course, when you're done the dungeon, you'll have this nice, shiny second chance chest waiting for you to dump your crowns on, right? Now, back in the olden days in Darkmoor was fine because, of course, you can just farm it an X amount of time that you can, you know, get your gear at whatever pace you want. You don't really have to just dump it in the chest, only if you want to, right? The difference between this, though, is that this dungeon is very complicated, and if you don't have a solid team, then it is going to be hard to farm it. So then your kind of last resort is either spending a lot on the chest or buying a potential future pack that literally will have the same exact stats as this dungeon, right? So you're kind of at that paying thing, which it kind of breaks the integrity of dungeons for me. Like, it kind of just saps the magic away, because I feel like, I don't know, if I go in a dungeon, I don't know if I gotta swipe my credit card instantly, but like, oh, alright, time to spend some money, which I did. I dropped like $25 dollars on the, whatchamacallit, the chest. Didn't really get many life gear at all. I think the only thing I got was like a life boomerang. Right, I was really going for the stalker hat and the boots, but I'm probably gonna give up on that. And then, of course, you have to do the dungeon at least 25 times. It can be standard or challenge, doesn't matter, but you have to do it 25 times in order to be allowed to actually craft it. So again, it's just like, you know, it's like a whole thing, and we talked about badge locked crafting recipes, and it's just not the wave, man. And honestly, if you're a casual player, it's just not the wave. It's just not the wave. Over here, someone says, please fix standard mode to be farmable. It's like y'all took away the timer and called it standard. The average player likely would fail to complete it even once. Do better. Someone also makes a response, but you are working with a good team. For those of us who have basically no guild or dual box or a tri-box like me, standard is going to allow us to hopefully complete this. Someone responds saying that it ended up being worse than challenge mode. The only beneficial part is that you can change your deck, you can use potions, you can mark your spot, and there's no timer, but all of that for basically the same challenge with trashier rates isn't it. And yeah, we talked about the drop rates, how the drop rates are significantly different than challenge mode and stuff like that. You can check out Cheer of Alex's video talking about standard versus challenge to make that assumption yourself. Or you can go in standard mode yourself and hopefully get some good loot. Hopefully you're fortunate enough to have a good team. But yeah, when it comes to this dungeon, I don't know, just wasn't the biggest fan of it. I feel like advanced content has kind of like ruined my taste for a lot of things. Like I said, we had two Storm Wizards bickering over a deck setup. And then a while back, I think like 2 years ago, we were talking about the Lord of the Squall treasure card for raids and how everybody else, again, Storm Wizards were talking about, oh yeah, you need this spell to kill the mobs and stuff like that. Like, this is the spell that's guaranteed to win. And then had that whole fiasco about it. You know, I feel like there's been a lot of silly fiascos in this game. It just kind of drives me farther and farther away. Not only that, but now my name's green, so I can't really walk around in public anymore because everybody's asking me, like, your name's green, Richard? Yo, tell me your secrets. But no, this is just the extra credit badge. I'm actually happy I got it. Pretty cool stuff. But yeah, if you ever see me in a comment, just say hi and stuff like that. I wish I could help more people out with the Nightmare Dungeon, but I feel like I'm just at a point where I'm just like super burned out and I'm just putting a little bit too much of myself out there. So probably starting today, we're just gonna stick to the news, man. We're just gonna stick to the news, whether it's update notes or, of course, the latest thing in the Crown Shop or the latest pack. War is gonna talk about the news, and of course the free codes. I know you guys love the free codes, but gameplay wise, I don't know, man. I kind of don't have the energy to really farm for stuff. I don't have the energy. If you're looking for a little bit more of an active community, there's a ton of communities out there. There's Gume. I think Ferric is returning a little bit. There's Almond. He's really heavy on PvE. Liam, my boy Liam, is a vibe. Yo, if you like PvP, make sure to check him out. There's also Cheerval X, which makes awesome videos as well. There's a lot of people in the community that have awesome mini communities and videos, so highly recommend you guys check those awesome content creators out and stuff like that. But, you know, going further along, I'm probably just going to be done with advanced content and raids and stuff like that, just because it's just too much of a headache, man. Like, I'm tired of reading guides. I'm tired of deck setups. I'm tired of spells. I'm tired of all this timer stuff. I'm tired of speed run dungeons. I'm tired of like speed running everything, you know? I just want to sit down, relax with my cup of tea in my nice cozy bed and play a little bit of Darkmoor, or at least a dungeon like Darkmoor. I saw a comment on one of my previous videos talking about how they miss some of the older dungeons like Aquila and, you know, whatchamacallit? Yeah, Aquila and Tartarus, Atlantia, Mount Olympus. Those were really fun dungeons back in the day. And you want to know why? It was kept simple. You're not going through a maze. Of course, there are still puzzles and riddles and stuff like that. But it was really casual friendly, right? It was really nice. It was just easy on the eyes. Because now when you go into it, especially if you're doing challenge mode, there's a whole rule set. You can't use this spell, you can't use that spell, you can use this spell, but remember, these are the stat caps. These are the Rochambeau rules. If it's an ice, you got a trap stack. If it's a fire, you got a blade stack. It can get really confusing and it can get really exhausting, you know? Now, if you're someone that's a very super, ultra, duper passionate player and you absolutely love the challenge, then yeah, give challenge mode a shot for standard mode. You're going to absolutely love it. Make sure to also check out raiding and make sure to also check out PvP, right? But if you're someone that's on the casual side and you just do not care about advanced content and you don't care about PvP and you just don't care much about raiding, especially me, right? Then yeah, this dungeon might be a skip for most people, in my opinion, right? We'll see what happens in the future. Honestly, Literally, if you remove some of the cheats in standard, like the croc ink, that croc ink, no, you should not have that cheat in for standard mode. Especially if you're not going to allow the gambit spells, right? If you're not going to allow the advanced content spells, then I'm not going to touch standard, right? And I don't think anybody is, right? But hopefully you guys do manage to get at least one win, and you can taste a little bit of loot, and hopefully you get all the loot you want. But beyond that, I'm probably done. I'm honestly kind of fed up with it. You know, it started off as fun. You know, it's always nice getting your first win, but, you know, slowly after it kind of evaporates, you know. Slowly after. So hopefully you have fun with Wizard101 moving forward. Tomorrow we'll give you the latest news as always. And yeah, until then, I will see you guys later. Peace out. Make sure to spread love, y'all. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. Over a deck setup is just so crazy. Over a deck setup. That's crazy. Oh, it's always Storm Wizards. Always Storm Wizards. I got beef with Storm Wizards. I've never, ever since I went to Darkmoor, I have never liked the Storm Wizards. Okay, I got a really horrible history with Storm Wizards, right? Like, I'm fine with Ice Wizards, Death Wizards, Bounce Wizards, Fire Wizards, Myth Wizards, Other Life Wizards, but Storm Wizards? Y'all can keep that energy to yourselves, alright? Only Storm Wizards, man. Only Storm Wizards, man. Oh my goodness.